Welcome back to 40-Day Refresh. Today we're going to continue talking about building out your one-year plan. We're getting closer here to having it ready to go. This is an exciting process if you've been going through this. As a quick reminder, if you don't have access to the online course and email series that go with this program, you can find them at danielfoley.net/40-day refresh, the number 40-day refresh. You get access to those materials there. But let's continue talking about how to build out your one-year plan. We've talked about what is the one project. I'm going to do a quick recap of the steps. What is the one major project that only you could do over the next year that you really feel like God is prompting you in that direction to get this thing done over the next year? What are your success criteria, your bullet point list of these things need to be true for this to be considered a success, to say I finished my project, I did the work that I'm supposed to be doing. Then we need to look at what are the areas that I need to grow in as a person and commit to growing in those things, both personally and individually as a person, but also in my skill sets. What skill sets do I need to develop to make this thing happen? And then next thing, what are the areas where I'm going to need help? And begin to identify who are some people that could help me in those areas will be the first sections of the plan. Then we're going to take your one-year project, your one-year plan, and divide it into 3 subcategories. What are the 3 major pillars that you're going to have to make sure happen to hit your one-year goal? And then we listed out the action steps for those and put them in the proper sequential order. So you should have a series of action steps in each of those 3 areas. That's what our plan should look like so far. Now today we're going to move into the next area, which is about creating the motivation to make this thing happen. So we need some motivation. If we have your one-year plan and we have the right plan, it should look exciting, but also a little overwhelming and a little scary. Because remember, we talked about anything that's from God looks impossible. You're going to have to grow. You're going to need His help. You're going to need help from other people. And it's going to be both exciting and a little bit overwhelming, a little bit scary at the same time. It's going to require some faith for you to walk this thing out. And so we're going to talk about the desires of your heart today. So what I want you to do is this. In our Abundant Life Blueprint, we have 7 rooms in the house: purpose, health, family, finances, order, time, and community. And I want you to think about, I want you to begin to write out a description, okay, what you want each of those areas of your life to look like a year from now, okay? Why are we doing this? You might say, well, that seems like a selfish thing to do, okay? In the book of Joshua in the Bible, the people are slow in taking the promised land. It's been years and they're still not taking the land that God had given them. And Joshua tells them, I want you to divide the land into 7 parts, go out and take a survey of it and write a description of the land and bring it back to me. And it was only once they brought the description back to Joshua that they actually had the motivation to go take it, okay? So this plan, your plan that you've been developing, looks big, it looks overwhelming, looks like it's impossible. You need some motivation to go after it. Here's what I've learned. Is that when you begin to write out a description of each of the 7 rooms in your house and you give it to God, that is going to be your compensation for making your plan happen. God wants to reward you with the desires of your heart for making His plan happen, for having the willingness to walk out His plan for your life. He wants to give you the desires of your heart. Bible flat out tells us He wants to give you the desires of your heart. I wrestled with this for a little while. At first I was like, is this just me or is this God, trying to show me something here? And I wrestled with it for a while because I'm like, this seems selfish. But in fact, He confirmed it to me over and over again that this is something that He wanted me to do. So I've learned this is a critical piece of the planning process. If you don't do this, you oftentimes don't have the motivation to go for the thing that He's calling you to do. So in your area of purpose, okay, there might be some other areas of purpose, of things that you wanted to do, things that you've had in your heart, dreams that you've had in your heart that maybe don't seem related to your one-year project. Begin to write out a description. What do you want your purpose to look like? What do you want things to look like? In your health, what do you want your health to look like a year from now? So think about, how do I want to feel? How do I want to look? What do I want to be able to do? What do I want to be able to perform? What do I want that to look like? In my family life, it could be marriage, kids, grandkids, whatever. What do I want my family life to look like a year from now? Financially, what do I want my life to look like a year from now? In the area of order, okay? Sometimes people struggle with this one. What do I want to think about with order? Having my priorities in line, okay, having my life structured and in better order. Maybe things are more organized. Maybe your houses or businesses or cars are clean and more organized, whatever it may be. And things are in order in your life. Everything is in its proper place and in order in your life. In the area of time, what do you want your days to look like? What kind of control do you want to have over your time? How do you want to be spending your time on any given day? And in the area of community, what kind of impact do you want to be making on your community? What kind of social life do you want to have? What kind of contribution do you want to be making to your community and to your society? These are some areas to think about. So what I want you to do today is take the time It's going to be a little bit of a process. It's going to take a little bit of time because sometimes it takes a little time to think big. And the first time I did this, the first thing that God told me was go back to the table and do it again because you didn't think big enough. You could do all that stuff on your own. Think big in the area. Where do you want to see things a year from now? Don't think small. I want you to begin to think big. Okay, begin to think and to dream big because with God, nothing is impossible. So purpose, health, family, finances, order, time, community. Begin to write a description of those 7 rooms of your house. Where do you want to see them a year from now? And begin to write it out underneath the plans that we've done so far.